individuality matters. Like how can you add your own style? Can you take this and make it yours? It's not just can you take this and do it. You know, those are the things that are. Okay, let's go into this analysis. And one of the reasons I love that this is a fan cam, because I can actually see the choreography and not just a boatload of close-ups of Taemin. As gorgeous as he is, I want to see the dancing right now for this. I'm really tempted to just go frame by frame. I feel like he's definitely got more lean in his movement. Yeah, a lot more lean. Like I said in the first part, and this is something I mentioned, like, is the modification of the choreography so the artists can still sing well while doing it. Even that slight change. Still executing that so well. Boom. Oh, 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 oh. Like this, the nuances of Taemin, like how he does it, like, yeah, I'm a badass, but with Taemin does like a little lean, like a little lean wind up before we go into it. Still killing it, man. Da 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 da, boom, boom, boom. There was a jump there? I've watched this at least so many times already after I reacted to it. They changed that. No, it's like there was a hop. But Taemin just made it like, oh, phew, fucking added more to it. See that? Look at how Casper's doing it. He's like fucking like, I got swag, I'm a fucking badass. But this, I feel like he's like I feel like he's showing off, like the vibe I'm getting is like as if he's in his freaking convertible and he's just like showing off. The different attitudes. It's so hard to like really pinpoint because now it's a style choice in the execution. And for this, how he says, never get the keys to my lock. That's still like pretty, like, I guess hard, so to speak. The way Taemin does it adds to that grace. Teased. Like that little lean and then bring it back. Here is more of a call. These little small little differences are what really makes it different. I guess these Taemin nuances just make it, like, it's what makes his movement so unique. This one, I think you can definitely see, look at his body, definitely more stiff and up. But as you can see here, notice how often he's moving his body like that. Those are small differences that are definitely leading with more shoulder. Like, but this one more like a shoulder lean. I think what I'm seeing with Casper is like more of a kind of snaking through. Da 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 boom. That part is so fucking sick, man. His is it's a subtle difference. Casper hits it a little harder. Hit. And Taemin is a little bit more, pulls back a little bit. It's still hard. It doesn't slap like immediately. It's like it slows down right before it hits. Boom, boom. It's like there's this head look and it's like a fast and easing out or easing into it. It's so small. I don't know if you guys are seeing it, but I'm seeing it. So his is more in his element. He's doing more of a knee groove, it looks like, but because more of a knee groove, but Taemin's definitely like leaning into, like, because I know he's doing the androgynous kind of style, like definitely leaning into more of the hip. Look at more of the extension. Look at that lunge from Casper compared to Taemin, but it could be the pants because, you know, as nice as the pants are, wardrobe does come into account when you perform. This part is insanely difficult, doing all that footwork and upper body motion at the time. Yeah, he definitely has more of a lean. His body's already like going this way. I could be wrong. Watch. Hit. Like, okay, here where it starts. Let's back up a frame from where he starts. Okay, and then that difference on that hit. Boom. Boom. So you notice like the more of that hit is definitely more here. He's like definitely hit it, but his head is hitting, but his body is already going to this motion. That's what I'm seeing. Still hitting that. This one's definitely more frame by frame because I'm trying to look for the differences and it's hard to watch. I thought this would be a good idea, but it's equally as hard. Oh yeah, definitely a huge difference on that. He's like leaning, he's staying up. Obviously, I think it'd be harder if you're crouching or leaning forward the whole time. So definitely a huge change in the level as it goes up. But I definitely like this silhouette a lot more because it's definitely, look at that strong line going, like nice like motion right there. As cool as this look in terms of levels, I just think this adds that like that grace. I'm gonna call it Taeminisms. This part, he has more of a like that camel walk. That is like yeah, ba ba, like kind of like let's go party. But this one, Taemin has a little bit more of a kick in that camel walk, kick, which I think I like. Adds a little jerkiness to it. Some more Taeminisms. And again here, the way he's doing it, I just think a little bit. He has a lot more like swaggy attitude, but this one has like swaggy grace. It's hard to tell because this one is being. This camera's moving, so it's a little hard. It looks like a body roll. If the hip motion feels subtler, but it could be because it's the camera movement is taking away from it. Because what I'm really loving is like how much more hip movement is here. Because I feel like there's this groove, and then there's that additional groove with the hips. I can't really do it right now because I'm sitting. Interesting. He ended sooner while Taemin kept going. I wonder what the... But either way, it works. Oh no, it's not on his knee. In this case, look at that, like the shape right here. But Taemin's definitely like adding a little bit more to that. Could be because he might have stepped more than usual, but either way. So I'm really like trying to dissect this because it's like, I'm fascinated with this. Oh, they're definitely low in that squat. That's like a small difference, really. Compared to everything else, that's more like noticeable differences, but with the stuff I'm trying to call out is more like, not call out in a bad sense, but like notice is like the small nuances of the Taeminisms and the Casperisms. Oof. Like those big ass moments, like when I see Casper do it, again, swag, like just dripping. But with Taemin, it's like that and like fucking beauty and grace. Boom. Yeah, I think a huge part of it is the activation in Casper's torso. It's hard to tell, but you can see like here in this line, and then boom, and how this is contorting a little bit more. Right there, and there. I mean, it could be a different frame and timing, but those are just things I'm noticing. definitely much more clever and where to place the energy versus holding back. I think he's done that a couple times already, but I yeah, just differences. It's hard to say. Like I know his is more like it's obvious, like a da da, but just the way they're doing it. I'm just trying to put my finger on it, man. Like I'm like watching Casper. I don't know, I feel like I'm just gonna be repeating myself so much. I'm looking at Casper stuff. It's like I feel like it's stuff I would see like a lot of the stuff on Instagram. Like it's super dope choreography. Like it's hard as fuck, really sick. But then I watch how Taemin's doing it. It's like, ooh, like it really feels. It's the same choreography, but it feels so different. Yeah, I think what I'm noticing is I'm just watching Casper. He's a little bit more subtle on that, the forward hip thrust. Boom, boom, it's smaller. I think with this, they're definitely pushing a lot more forward. It's not like hitting it, it's more like small, small. But Taemin and their group is more like they're pushing a little bit more. I like that Taemin immediately went for that double bounce groove. Da-da, boom, da-da. The biggest, I think, difference here is like, notice how much bigger Casper's hitting it. And then subtle, bigger. But what I'm liking how Taemin does it is he keeps the whole thing subtle. He lets those two hits be. He doesn't do anything extra with those da-da. It's like hit, hit, smooth. Casper is going hit, hit, a little extra. Boom. So I guess those are things, again, the Casperisms, the Taeminisms, the small differences in how they're doing the choreography. So notice how Taemin is still very chill, but it still feels just as powerful. Ooh, what was that? That's fun. Da, 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 da. They still do that? Da, da, da. Oh yeah, it's different. Da. It's more like a shoulder drop. It is a shoulder up, drop, drop. This one, Casper's, feels more like a groove, like groove down. The other group, how they do it, feels more like a shoulder drop. Because it didn't feel like a groove. Yeah, it's like a drop, drop. And the Casper's definitely feels like a groove. Yeah, like they're like, hey, that kind of drop. Notice the difference in like how this part, especially since it's the ending now. Boom, this throw, definitely like a huge activation of like how he's throwing out. Throw. Taemin is like majority like upright. Obviously, I think to help him with the singing, it's more of a swivel. See that? But Casper is like, look at that. Activation of the core. Definitely, this more brings arches and brings that leg much bigger. Still love how Taemin does that. Da da, as they bring that over, instead of like a big swoop over, it's more of a little turn over. See that? It's a little more of a pivot. He swoops it over, but this one is a pivot. Again, nothing's wrong with it. They're just like small differences that these amazing elite performers are doing, which, you know, this is what intrigued me when I watched it the first time. I like how Casper's doing this part because the standing up part feels very like much more control. This feels like more like a power struggle as he's reaching. With this one, he feels like he's like in control the whole time. And then the ending. Yeah, this is really fun to watch, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. You see like just the small differences. Like it's one thing to know the choreography and do it. It's another thing to understand it so well that you're adding your own style to it. And that's something that's important. And the difference between like a competitive dancer and a industry dancer, individuality matters. Like how can you add your own style? Can you take this and make it yours? It's not just, can you take this and do it? Those are the things that help you stand out in really a lot of stuff. You can be a great dancer who understands the movement, but if you really want to be a great performer, you got to be able to just take it, flip it, have it be, and bring you into that performance. And that's something that you can't exactly teach. You have to do through experience by performing, whether it's in front of like the mirror as a start, but eventually you got to get in front of a crowd, whether it's your friends, school talent show, a festival. Got to put yourself out there, and that's how you get better.